Hello you plonkers, and welcome back to another episode of 9 Things We Learnt on the Drewzy channel. I am back in my humble abode in Perth after being in Lavington, New South Wales for the last 2 weeks at the National Championships for the under-15s. Didn't get the gold medal, only got the silver, but that's alright, it was a great time. There will be a vlog out from that trip tomorrow if you're keen on that. But you're probably here to hear the 9 things that I learned from round 20. Is it round 20? That is bananas of football. If you like the video, make sure you drop a like to support me in the Drewzy algorithm. Oh, and that's also right, I'm trying to hit 8,000 subs and this many people aren't subscribed to my channel. What are you doing? If you're not subscribed, you're a filthy pig. Come join the Plonker Army, which is 7.6 thousand subscribers strong right now. Let's get that up to 8k. Thank you very much. Let's get into the video. Number 1. The Dees are back. We already know Freo are bad in prime time, so there's no new lesson to be learnt there. But I don't think it was just the poor display that Freo put on which led to Freo getting pumped. Obviously, the Dees played very good, but it wasn't just another week at the office for the Dees, I think. I reckon they have been played back into some real good form after beating Freo on Friday night. They were vicious with their tackles. They were set up magnificently defensively. If we couldn't get the ball on the break, we couldn't score. That's why we had such a low scoring game. They're just set up so well behind the ball again, which has been missing in the past few months where they haven't been in good form. Really hard to score against, and you saw guys like Bailey Fritsch having a blinder, Jack Viney in the middle, Gus Brayshaw, all having real good games as well. So I think this could be the game that sends the Dees back into form and back to the top of the premiership favourites for me. They've got a tough run home, but I think it's just the perfect timing for them given that they're going to go into a tough final series. You know, get the warm-up games in, quote unquote, against some good quality sides, play some real good footy in the next few weeks, and then go into finals prepared to battle for the flag. And I reckon they're right in that premiership mix again. Number 2. Collingwood always find a way. Let me just do some real good analysis on the AFL Live app again. Round 20, Collingwood win by 6 points against Port Adelaide. Round 19, back a week, Collingwood win after the siren by 4 points against Essendon. Go back another week, Collingwood beat Adelaide by 5 points. Go back another week, Collingwood win by 7 points against North Melbourne. Go back again, Collingwood win by 5 points against Gold Coast. Go back again, Collingwood win by 2 kicks against GWS. You go back again and it's the bye. You go back again and they beat the Dees by 26 points. That's just about where my analysis ends on that one, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen Richmond be a side that haven't got the rub of that green this year. They've been in front in the last quarter, I think, 17 out of 19 games. Previous to round 19, and they dropped a lot of them. You compare that to the Pies, who in the last 10 weeks, I think they've won 10 or 11 in a row now. They've just been able to find a way to win, and it's no coincidence at all. All it is 22 players on the field, all having the mentality that they're going to win and that they'll find a way to do so. There's no fluke to it, although it does require a bit of luck from time to time. Like in that Essendon game. When you see these things happening over and over and over, it's so special that you just can't help but think, like, what is the ceiling on this side? I've been saying it for a while now about the Pies. They've been one of the more exciting sides to watch all year. They've had some great wins, lots of close games. The Pie fans are loving it, getting to watch such close games every week and having the belief that the boys will get it done because they have now for the past, 2-3 months. Unreal patch of form from the Pies, and they're into the top 4 after people laughed at me for suggesting that they could make the top 4 earlier in the season. So I'm going to take that one. Let's move on. Number 3. How good can Errol Gulden be? Spoke about last week how GWS are a shambles, and I stand by that. They've lost to Sydney by 73 points with a very decent side on the park. They are just absolutely rubbish, the Giants. I didn't get to watch this game as I had a game of my own. But, you go on the AFL Live app, you go on the Dream Team points, and you see 20-year-old Errol Gulden, 2 goals, 33 disposals, 155 Dream Team points. I saw Gulden towel up Freo a few weeks ago. His left foot is just an absolute cannon. You can't give him any time on it because if he has enough space around that 50-metre arc or within it, obviously, most of the time he's going to kick it through. He's as tough as nails for a little fella. Fearless attack on the ball. And Sydney just have so many of these young stars popping up with potential just bursting at the bloody seams. Errol Gulden, 20 years old, absolutely tearing up at the elite level. this kid could be really special. Number 4, Max King. How hard is it? It's been pointed out so many times that when Max King approaches for a set shot, he flicks the ball over. It's just so ridiculous. It is costing your team goals. And goals are sometimes very hard to come by for a side like St Kilda. Look, I'll show you the science behind why your shots are missing. Black and white, it's as easy as it gets, right? If I'm doing a set shot and I hold the ball like this and drop it like that, obviously with one hand, right? It'll go straight down. So when I drop the ball and hit it with backspin, it'll go straight. Ready? Watch this. Bang. That's going straight through for a goal. What Max King does is he twirls it around, does a bit of this, does a bit of that, and then he goes to kick it, and oh no, the ball is pointing that way. Hit it on the bottom, it's gonna go wide. It's as simple as that. Why has this not been pointed out by the St Kilda forward coaches or whoever's responsible for teaching this bloke how to kick a set shot? 2 goals, 5 for Max King, and Hawthorn almost come back and won this game. It is a joke at this point. He has all of the talent in the world, but makes this simple blunder every time when he has a set shot, which often costs him goals. What are you doing, Max King? Screw your head on. Number 5. It's hard to stop Geelong once it's on their terms. Geelong are one of the best sides in the competition when they're on, but a few times this season, they haven't got going early, and it's cost them. So against Freo, they didn't really get going until the last quarter, and they left it far too late. Against the Dogs, it was a bit of a contest, but once they got the game on their terms, they ended up winning comfortably. Whereas at halftime, you would have thought, man, they're in for a game here. Nah, Geelong just coasted home. That one very early on in the season against Collingwood, they were being dominated in that first half and then just turned it on, and Collingwood just couldn't get back into it. Once Geelong have control of the game, it is very hard for a side to regain the momentum back because they're just so experienced. They know how to win games of football. It's as simple as that. Once it's going their way, it's hard to get it back. The Cats are looking to strike this year, I reckon. If it's on their terms in a grand final, mate, I wouldn't want to be the team on the receiving end of a mauling. Meow. Number 6. Adelaide were hungrier to win. Carlton obviously went into this game favourites. Adelaide have been on a 3-game losing streak. So, you know, as a tipper, you might go the upset here to think that Adelaide would bounce back, and they got a very big win on their home deck on Saturday night. And when you look at the stats, you see Sam Walsh, Cripps both had 40 plus. The Blues had more clearances. So you just think, why did this result happen? Usually if your 2-star midfielders are having a blinder, you should win games of football, especially if you're getting more clearances. But you take a deeper look into the stats, and it's the contested ball that Adelaide got more of. Carlton had a lot more of the uncontested ball, and Adelaide also had more tackles than the Blues, which just shows me that Adelaide were scrapping and fighting to get this win. They weren't making it easy for the Blues to score or move the ball up the ground. After 3 losses, I reckon the Crows boys were like, right, we just got to pull our socks up and just battle in this game to get the win, because we're not going to outclass Carlton with the players they have on their list, but we can get gritty, play some real Adelaide Crows footy and get the job done, and they did. Number 7. Gold Coast have left it too late. Gold Coast currently sit, as it stands, in 11th place on 36 premiership points, with St Kilda in the 8 on 44. So they need 2 wins, with St Kilda losing both pretty much to make the 8. Gold Coast, you've got Geelong and Hawthorn in your next 2. It's just not going to happen, is it? They needed to beat Essendon a few weeks ago if they were going to make the 8, I think. They just held on against West Coast. It's been a great season for Gold Coast. They've improved massively. It's the best season that they've ever had. But in terms of making the 8, they've just left it too late this year, I think. I reckon they're just going to miss out. Number 8, a tale of 2 halves. In the first half, I was watching this game like, wow, sick. This is a blowout. Hipwood's snagging him. Bloody Danaher's kicking bombs. McCarthy's kicking him. Cameron's kicking him. And I did not have high hopes for the second half at all. But it was just literally like Richmond just reset and went again, because that second half was a completely different game. They just bit by bit slowly chipped back, ate at the lead, controlled momentum. Brisbane couldn't get any flow going. And eventually, they tied it up, won the game in the end. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing, because I would have put the house on Brisbane winning that game after halftime. That's why I don't bet. Noah Cumberland had the best game of his career, kicking 5 goals, and the commentators were talking about him like he's a special package X factor player. I think he provides a lot around goal. Just if he has space in the forward 50, if he can get a shot off, he's very crafty at getting those goals. So credit to him for having a massive game. Tom Lynch kicked 4 as well, just to chip back into that lead. Slowly but surely, they followed the process and got the win. It was a massive comeback win for the Tigers, and it keeps their season alive, and a massively disappointing loss for Brisbane, who can't seem to buy a win at the MCG still. And number 9, Essendon launched from half back. A few weeks ago when I was talking about the Gold Coast Essendon game, I said Nathan Redmond instead of Mason Redmond. And that is because there is a soccer player. Here's a photo of him that plays in the Premier League. All right? I get my names mixed up sometimes. We all make mistakes. Drewzy, you're a plonker. Shut up. We all make mistakes, all right? But Redmond again had a great game off halfback. 32 disposals, 25 kicks. Nick Hind had 24 disposals for 20 kicks. And Jordan Ridley had 15 kicks as well. So you can see that the meterage gained in this Essendon side comes from the run that Hind brings and Redmond as well, but also just the deep kicks that these guys are getting to gain the territory. Territory being gained is one of the most important statistics in football, simply getting the ball up closer to your end to provide scoring opportunities. It doesn't sound complex, but it is vital to get the ball up your end. And when you've got these guys on the half-back line providing that run and carry and also being great kicks of the football, that is what I believe Essendon's game plan in offense is based off. Getting that transition from the half-back line moving forward. And that's going to wrap up another episode of 9 Things We Learned. But before you click off, make sure you've liked the video to support me in the Drewzy YouTube algorithm. And make sure you subscribed if you haven't already to hit that 8K goal for me. Thank you very much. Let's get this Plonker Army nice and strong. 30 days of fitness. We'll be back soon. There'll be a vlog out very soon. Stay tuned to the channel and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, you plonkers.